Well, I'm so happy to have you here in section 2, Groking and Owning State in Function Components, Hooks for the Win. What will we learn in this section? With a simple blog that requires state, we'll find solutions based on class components and function components. Compare the two, see the advantages. Since in the first video we implemented an option list, now the challenge will be a drop-down list, because we'll be having code challenges in this section. In the next video, a datetime picker comes in handy for the blog's archive section. Finally, in the last video, we wrap up the blog with some improvements, all the while comparing class-based to functional hooks-based solutions. In this video, we're going to roll up our sleeves and do some code challenges around a simple option list. We'll meet the code to see how a simple blog works. We'll see why the posts page needs state. We'll accept the challenge to implement a post filter by category based on an already existing option list, conserving the class-based container component. Then we'll see one solution after trying ourselves, and then accept the challenge to convert it to a hooks-based solution. Then we'll compare the two. So here's our simple blog. It just has a couple of pages which we'll be developing later on in the section. And on the front page, we got an option list, and we got a list of posts. Nothing fancy. Now, the option list, if I click category 1, we'll see all it does is write to the console, right? It doesn't actually even light up. And if I then say category 4, it tells us that too. If I clear the selection, it says you press the clear selection button. So this is the code that makes it work. We've created this application with Create React App. You're already familiar with the structure. This is the code for the posts component. Okay. Basically, we're using React Bootstrap. Not very well. We'll fix it up later on in the section. And what we do is we're basically just importing React in a component. We're grabbing a list of posts from JSON placeholder. For this video, we've just put everything into a file, right? And we're just grabbing it here. Then we're setting up a few categories. And we start out our post component. Now, we do have state. We'll see why in a moment. And basically, there's a little bit of a complicated line here, but all we're doing is, since JSON placeholder gives us like 100 records, we're just taking the first 8, and then we're just assigning a category to each post. We're just mathfloor, mathrandom times 4 will just give us a random number between 1 and 4. And so in the state, the shape of our state is the posts list, categories list, and selected category, which is set to a null string right now. Then we have our event handlers, which don't do very much. We do prevent a refresh of the screen with the submit by clicking on the clear button. And we're just writing to the console, as we saw before in action. Now, so what's going on? In the render function, we prepare the category options for the option list, and we prepare the listing of posts with a straightforward mapping, which is pretty clear. And then we go ahead and paint that to the screen, returning a Bootstrap container. I think React Bootstrap is cool. I wanted you guys to see it. So, okay, basically we're just putting up the option list first, and then we're going down, and there's the clear selection button. And then we're just putting the post in, and that's it. So Why do we need state? Well, as we saw in the browser, we are interested in getting some little user interaction going here, right? And we want the user interaction to change the state, namely the selected category, so that will trigger a re-rendering, which is not going on now. Here's what we want to be happening with your solution to the challenge. Down below, the posts are listed. Each one has a category assigned to it. We click on category 2, and the list is magically filtered only to those posts having that category. Clear the selection, goes back to the way it was. Okay, man your stations and implement challenge 1, an option list to filter blog posts by category. Set that state. So, here's one solution to the problem. In the browser, looks like things are working. Let's see, category 2, yep. So what we've done is set the state with the value of what has been changed in the option list. And we do the same thing simply with the submit handler, where we go ahead and set that state of the selected category to a null string. And in our logic here to set things up, the posts list, we take note of the null string and we go ahead and just list everything. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and do challenge 2. Find a solution based on a function component using the useState React hook and enumerate the advantages of doing so. Again, here's one solution. So at the top, everything's basically the same. We've got our posts and our categories, right? We do assign to a variable some posts, the actual list of 8 posts to show. And then what's different here is, first of all, we have a function-based component, and we're able to have our state. What's really cool about the useState thing is we can use semantically convenient names for everything, right? So we've got actually 3 little statelets. We got our post list and our category list here. And then we got our selected category, which we're assigning the null string as before. Just makes everything cleaner and nicer. So we've got our event handlers here and as before, practically, except